Peace, love, and blessings, fam. First off, I want to say rest in peace to Maleah Davis and Pamela Turner. Um, Accountability goes a long way. We live in a society that allows people to feel like they can do and say whatever they want to without having to be responsible or cognizant of the actions that they taken. And this goes all the way up to the chief commander. We live in a world of rhetoric where it's almost as if you don't have to be liable for the things that you say and do. So I want to encourage everybody to follow the example that Nip set. Y'all seen that video where the laws was jumping out on that dude and he jumped out in front of the laws and everybody with him. If we all operate in the same fashion, a lot of the things that's going on today wouldn't be happening. If we held the officers accountable in that same essence, and I'm not saying police officers, I'm speaking of peace officers, not these captors, not these pirates, because they don't even understand what they're doing. Yo, we would go a lot further in life if we operated together. Once we stand up from under the table, the game is over. And this is a call to action. This isn't a call to action for violence. This isn't a call to action for looting and going into a ruckus. This is a call to action for us to consciously wake up and realize that we are more in control than we think. We all have to be responsible for ourselves, for our young ancestors growing up, for our family members. It's sad that nowadays you have to treat people as though you're dealing with a child. Most of us, when we deal with children, we're respectable to the concept that they don't necessarily understand what they're doing. So we all have to come together to do the same thing with some of these police officers. I remember some years back when I was up in New York. I can't say if it's the same now, but this was like 06, 07. I see an officer pulling a dude over. I think it was on 34th, like 32nd or 34th. And everybody came around the car like, hey, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? We didn't see him do nothing. Why are you pulling him out the car? We need to act in the same manner. Now, some might not agree with me, but I took a different oath than most of y'all. I was in the military. So a lot of us took that oath to stand up against foreign and domestic terrorists. And right now, we dealing with some real serious homeland terrorism. And it's because these people aren't being held accountable. Because it only matters when it hits home. And I'm not speaking about all officers. I have some individuals that are very, very close to me that either work in the penal system, that work in some courts, that work in some jailhouses that I love dearly. I got cousins, I got family that are on the police force, and they don't operate in that same manner. I don't know if it's the upbringing, or I don't know if it's because they don't allow that environment to taint their mind. They don't allow the media to dictate their perception on reality. But with what's going on this past week, bro, we got to make a change. And I mean that sincerely, because this is what they want. They want us at each other's necks. You might be a police officer or a peace officer, but you still a human. You still fall under the same rules and guidelines. If you do something out of order, they're going to give you the business. There have been cases where cops have shot other cops. There have been cases where police have busted other undercover police because y'all doing too much. And what is it all for? Money. Filthy lucre. Printed, painted cotton. Something that you give value to. Why? Because that's how you've been programmed. You've been programmed and trained to allow money to rule your life, to where you will do anything for it, to where now even the actions that you make don't even seem like it, but they connected as well. When we fight and argue in domestic disputes, they want you to get locked up. Why? It's money. They want you to get divorced. Why? It's money. They want your kids to go into the court system with CPS. Why? Because somebody gonna get paid and they gonna get a cut of it. We have to wake up. We have to join together. If 2 heads is better than 1, what is 3 heads? What is 4 heads? What is 10,000 heads? You feel me? If a lot of us in these neighborhoods came together, like Pop is always talking about, and put our money together, you wouldn't have to worry about anybody regentrifying your neighborhood. You wouldn't have to worry about the old stores, the mom and pops that you see closing down, because we'd be building that wealth for them. If a lot of us in our families did the same things, we would make a way for a lot of those that are still stuck in the streets that don't know a way. Even if they take the money and funnel into it, we can start our own businesses in our own neighborhoods. We can start our own legacies. Sally Enterprise, Brown Enterprise, Johnson Enterprise, Polk Enterprise. You dig? We all have to come together. The time of bickering and fighting and the quote unquote crab in the bucket mentality is over, because a lot of times crabs just looking for help out. So if I'm called a crab or a monkey in the barrel, because in that case, what was the monkeys in the barrels doing? That game was played where you use the other monkeys to pull all the monkeys out. So we as people need to think with the same concept that the crab is just trying to survive. It just wants to get out the barrel just like you. Now we know in some situations, some circumstances, a person will give all the plausible reasons why it's hard to do that, but that's what we here for. We here to wake people up. So those that get it, get it. Pull them up out of the barrel. Help them. Don't let them abuse or mistreat your kindness, but teach them and guide them. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. But you can also bring them that bucket so they can see what that water tastes like. To give them the experience, to give them the chance, to give them the opportunity to know I don't have to do this. So we all need to function in that same manner. And I know I'm a little all over the place, but this has touched me in so many different areas because everything connects, man. They want us to end up in a police state. They want us to end up in a state like a lot of these movies y'all see, which again are soft releases. These movies are showing y'all the things that they want to happen, like Out of Time, where now we paying for everything with our time. We go to work and our time pays for food. We lining up every day to get medication because they want you dumbed up. We lining up to get food because they want you eating what they want you to eat, because it keeps your vibration low. It keeps you from achieving your full potential as a human creator here. I don't know what your religious perspectives are, but every religious group has had an entity that was the Christ entity that has come to show and uplift. And every time they've been shot down, mainly by the people. Why? Because the people have been controlled by the church. The people have been controlled by the media. The people have been controlled by everything except their own logical thinking to realize, hey, there's something up with this person and they're trying to show us something. You all have it in you. We all have it in us. That's why when Christians say Christ is in me, they don't realize how strong that statement is. If you realize that God is in you, then everything that we want, the heaven that we say we want, that we're waiting for, that we're waiting to go for, is already here. We just have to come together to make it happen. We have to come together to redirect, re-guide, re-instruct, reinstitute the truest principles of love and unity. Once we do that, a lot of the things that we see that we keep reposting, passing the trauma on, that many don't realize they doing because they just want to help, and the only way they feel like they can help is reposting it. A lot of these things will stop. A lot of these things will stop. Follow individuals like Pop Darby, Derek Grace, Rizza Islam, 19 Keys, David Banner Likes Pictures, My Son, General My Son. These individuals all have solutions. Now, everybody may not agree with their solutions, but it's a start. We have to stop. We truly have to stop focusing on the situations. Solutions over situations. The team we got with Unity is Wealth is amazing. It's so many stories I could tell you repeatedly of how many times somebody has come to somebody's aid, even in a different state. You know, the best time I saw that and people didn't even realize they were a part of Unity as Wealth then, is when Harvey happened. Because everybody in Houston, everybody in surrounding states, everybody in states thousands of miles away came together to support and help. We need to be like that all the time. If you see a situation that needs help, reach out. Do the best you can. It doesn't always have to end in violence. Sometimes the softest word can change a whole situation. Sometimes just letting the officer know, hey bro, what you doing? Can change, it redirects their whole thought pattern. Because now that mode that they're used to operating in has literally snapped them into a state of temporary hypnosis to where they don't know what to do. That's when you take control of the situation. And I don't mean take control as aggressively, forcefully. You keep his attention. Hey, what you doing, bro? Hey, come on, man. Come on. You know that's not right. It's that simple. Think about when you do it with kids fighting. Think about when you do it with adults fighting in your family. We all just have to learn how to operate in a different fashion. So, again, accountability. We have to be accountable for ourselves. We have to be accountable for others. We have to be accountable for our children. And if you don't agree with that, cool. It may not be your responsibility, but at the end of the day, when it hits home, when it knocks on your doorstep, you're going to remember these words and say, dang, Gator was right. And I hope it never comes to that with anybody. So I love y'all. Peace.